we left the last part at trading plan, and we talked about the importance of having a trading plan or trading strategy, and I like to use the two terms interchangeably. But no matter how good your trading plan may be, or how good you think it is, or how well it's worked for you in the past, or how well you've tested it, every time you place a trade, you are taking on a risk. And the risk is that the market does something you don't want it to do, or you don't expect it to do. For example, let's say you've taken a long trade. You've gone long on a market. So if you go long on a market, you're hoping that it will go up. Okay? That's what you're hoping. But in reality, it goes down. Okay? And you lose out on that long position. Now, if you go short, it's the other way around. If you're hoping that the market will go down, but in fact, it actually goes up. Now, one of the tools you have, one of the options you have, is something called the stop loss. This is the way stop loss works. Let's say we're looking at a long position, and the market, let's say, has been going up so far. You enter the market at this position and you decide to go long. The market goes up to a certain point, but then it starts coming down. Right? Now, if you hold on to this loss-making position, what's going to happen? Your losses are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. At this point, you decide, I'm going to sell this. I'm going to close this position. I'm going to sell this. And the reason why you're selling this is to stop your losses from growing. And that's what we call a stop loss. Okay. You have executed a stop loss. You have sold this long position, or you closed this long position in order to stop your losses from growing. Okay. Now, you can do a stop loss on your Oanda. Let me show you how. When you, let's say, decide to go long, this is an example, and you're executing your buy order, you have the option of setting a stop loss. So you're buying it at 174, and your stop loss is 171. Which is telling the system that if it reaches this level, sell it to stop the loss. So you can have an automated stop loss system where you don't have to be monitoring constantly, and the moment the price reaches that level, which is below your buy price, which means obviously you're making a loss, it'll execute your stop loss and stop your losses from growing. Now, you also face an upside risk. And the upside risk you take is, what if the market is moving in the way you want to go? So again, with the previous example, the market's been moving up. You decide to go into the market. You decide to go long here. That means you decide to buy. And the market keeps moving up again, keeps going up. And you're still holding on to this position. Right? And every time the market is going up, you're actually gaining. Your returns are increasing. Now, what's the risk here? The risk is, go on. That's right. So let's say you're overconfident and you think the market will keep going up, but at this point somewhere, something happens. Either it's either it's hit a resistance line, or there's some exogenous factor. Something's come into the picture that causes the market to go down, right? And it'll start going down. It may actually go down steeply, and the risk is that it will actually go down and wipe out the level of profit you've attained, or it will go down below your original buy price and turn your profits into losses. So this is the upside risk. What you do as a disciplined trader is you decide that this is enough profits for me. If it hits this point, I've made enough of a profit. So this is the level of profits you have made. At this point, you close your position, you sell in order to take your profit. Because until you close that position, until you sell that long position, you don't really have the profit in your hand. Yeah? And that's something that's important to keep in mind, because there are two kinds of profits or losses. There is the realized, sorry, my writing is pretty bad, the realized profit or the realized loss, that is actual profit or actual loss. So if you opened a long position and you close it at a loss, you made a realized loss. If you actually close it or sell it at a profit, you have made an actual realized profit. And then there is the unrealized profit or loss. The unrealized profit or loss. That is, it's open, it's making profit because the price is going up, but you haven't closed it yet, so the profits are not realized, they're unrealized. And the danger with unrealized profits is, like you see here, the market may turn and you will go from a position of unrealized profit to an unrealized loss. Okay? Unless you set your take profit. And in Oanda, you do have the option of setting a take profit level. So if you're going long, for example, you can set your units and you can set your stop loss. You can also set your take profit level. Now notice the take profit level is above the buy price. It tells the system, once it reaches that point, I want you to sell it at a profit. Okay? So if you look at your trading account summary, you have your unrealized profit and loss and your realized profit and loss. So I got a £13,000 unrealized loss, which means the market is moving against me, but it's not realized, it's actually still moving. And I've made a realized profit and loss of 663. In tangible terms, that's what matters, the amount of profit or loss you have realized. Okay, this matters on the downside, because if you have made this much unrealized profit or loss, and it's currently at a loss, if you were to sell your positions now, sell your trades now, or close your trades, then these will automatically become realized losses. So if I were to take this position, which I'm making a loss on, and close it, look what happens to my realized P&L. It actually goes down from 663, it's gone down to 642. Okay, so it's important that you manage the risk, and the basic tools of risk management are your stop loss and your take profit. One thing you may have noticed is this thing called trailing stop loss. Trailing stop. Now I'll tell you how the trailing stop works. Let's say when you took your position, let's say you're going long. This is a long position. Okay, and you decide to buy here. This is the level at which you bought, and let's say you put a stop loss here. This is your stop loss level. Okay, let's say there is a difference of £2. between your buy price and your stop loss price. Okay? Now, what if the price climbs to this level? The price goes up. What a trailing stop loss does, is it will move your stop up as well, so that you're still maintaining that £2 spread. Right? So if the price comes back down, it will get rid of it at this point, not at this point. Right? So if the price were to come back down, and that's the downside of it, the downside risk, if the price were to come back down, it will stop here, not here. Okay? And that's what it means. Your stop loss trails your price. Okay? Now, if the price moves down, it does not mean the stop loss moves down. It only trails it up in the direction that favors you. Okay? That's what a trailing stop is. So you can either put a fixed stop or you can put a trailing stop. Okay? So those are your very basic risk management rules, but if you use them effectively, that'll save you a lot of money. Now, like I said, I'm interested in you adopting a discipline. You're becoming disciplined traders, not gamblers. A disciplined trader, as a disciplined trader, you will maintain, and any book you read, and one of the books I would recommend you to read is a book by Alexander Elder. His name is Alexander Elder. And the title of his book is Come Into My Trading Room. I know it's a very cheesy title, but there you go. Come Into My Trading Room. And you can find this on your online libraries, and it's there as an e-book, an electronic book. Okay, so you don't have to go off and buy it. It's there in your online library as an e-book. And Alexander Elder is somebody whom I respect and whom I read early on, and he's a psychiatrist by training. Yeah, and he came to America from, he was a Russian immigrant into the United States, and when he came, he could not practice as a psychiatrist over there, so he took up trading, and that's how he made his money. Right. Now, if you read his book, and there's a whole chapter on the disciplined trader, and he will say that that a disciplined trader will have to should maintain a trading log. Even if you are an experienced trader, you will still continue to maintain a trading log for all the trades that you have made. And the reason for that is, well, if you log all your trades, at some point down the road, you can analyze your trades. And you can analyze them and see what are your common mistakes, where have you gone wrong. So it's sort of a self-critical portfolio where you are able to identify your strengths, your preferences, your weaknesses, so on and so forth. And then you can devise your trading strategy or change your trading strategy depending on that analysis. And it is important that you learn to trade in a disciplined way, because trading is not the same as gambling. Yeah, don't let anybody tell you that. You're not gamblers, you're traders, and that's very different. That's very different. But it is still a thin line. You can still lose your shirt in one trade. People have gone bankrupt in one trade. Okay, because the level of risk in this profession is very high. Okay. Now, you do, as a part of your assessment, have to maintain a trading log. So every time you place a trade, you have to complete a trading log. In fact, every time you close a trade, every time you complete a trade, you have to record that trade in a trading log. To access your trading log, it's very simple. You go into Blackboard. On Blackboard, you have something called Trading Journal. Every time you complete a trade, you have to click that and update your trading journal. Okay? It's all online, so you don't have to submit any paper-based forms, but I encourage you to maintain a paper-based diary. So you are keeping a personal diary of your trading activity. Okay. Now, if you click that, it'll take you to this window. So that's the online system. It'll ask you for your account number. So I don't need to know any names or anything, but you need to enter your correct account number. And that you will find on your trading practice window. You see where it says 626834? That's my account number. That's where you get your account number from. Okay? So you enter your account number. You select the product that you traded. So all the products you're allowed to trade is programmed into it. So keep in mind that you're not trading everything in Oanda. You should have customized your Oanda by now to trade the products that you're allowed to trade. So you need to choose the right product. Then you need to enter the correct values, things like how many units you traded, how many, the amount you invested, the take profit level, the stop loss level, the trailing stop level, the open price, the close price. All these you can keep a record of. If you haven't kept a record of it, no worries. You go back into Oanda, and if you look up activity, all that is recorded there. Okay, so you have a complete activity form of your Oanda, of what you've done on Oanda, and you can look that up. Okay, everything, every transaction you make, every order you place is recorded there. So it's simply taking information from there and putting it into your trading journal, all right? And the key word here is accuracy, because there's a saying, garbage in, garbage out. It also asks you for the date and time you open the position. So the date comes here, the time comes here. And the date and time you close the position, and the date and time comes here. Again, that information is easily accessible from Oanda because it does store the date and time. Okay. Now here you need to, here's this information you cannot get from Oanda because that's up to you. What were the entry signals? On what signals, what gave you the signal to enter this position? It's up to you. And that depends on your trading plan. That depends on your trading strategy. What signals are you using? You need to explain briefly what the signals were. If you're using a candlestick approach, I might say 3 green sticks, right? Yeah. So what is your signal for entering this position, this particular position? Question 6 is, state the one word that best describes your reason for trading. Now you may not understand why I'm asking you to do this now, but towards the end of the module you'll understand once we do the analysis of your trading journal. What one word, just give one word that best describes your reason for entering this trade, for placing this trade. Okay? Yeah, get profit is the overall, but it needs to be specific. Net profit is not a reason, it's an objective. The reason. You can say trend reversal, or trend established, or broken through a support line. Intuition it can be a reason. Yeah. No, I don't want general stuff. I want something very specific. Give me some specific reason why you entered this trade. It could be, you can say it's a guess. Yeah, you can say it. Be truthful, but also be very specific. What was the expected rate of return? What rate of return did you expect to make from this trade? It's up to you, right? But be honest. So make a record of, if I'm entering this trade, you always have to have an expectation. This is the percentage return I want to make. Okay, 100% is not the maximum. You can go up to 1,000% if you want to. Yeah, go on.
There is, on the trading, there is some trading cost and there's some.
Okay. Now, how did you close the position? Did your stop loss or your take profit activate automatically? Did you close it, or did you manually close it? Or did you put a auto close, a limit close? Now, why I put it as full or partial is because You may take 1,000-point stake on a certain market, and you may decide to close only 500 of it, right? So when you fill this form in, you're filling it for that 500, right? And that's a partial, right? Full is if you close the remainder of it, then you fully closed it. Or if you close the full 1,000, that's a full. So that's the difference between full and partial.
Does this platform allow closing partial positions?
Sorry? Yes, it does. Yeah. Okay. Now, what was your exit criteria? I'm just going to put some values in there, so because I need to move on to the next window. Let me just putting fake values, all right? You need to put the right ones. Because if you don't put the values, it's not going to let you move on to the next page, because all values are compulsory. You have to put the values in there. Okay. Okay. Question 9 is exit criteria. What was your exit criteria? If you decided to close the position manually, on what basis did you do that? What was your criteria for doing that? To stop the loss. That's the obvious one. But what was the criteria if you set a stop loss level? What was your criteria for setting that stop loss level? What analysis informed? That's the level I'm going to put the stop loss at. Okay, let's say you have a target, and that's your target. Or you looked at the overall risk and volatility of the market, and you said that's the obvious risk level. Yeah, so it's up to you, but you need to put that. And then here you need to say what if applicable, you can make some notes for fine-tuning your trading strategy. So as a result of this trade, you may decide, oh, this is the lesson I learned, and I can improve my trading strategy. Okay. Then you move on to the next page. The next page. Okay, so if you put the wrong account number, it's gonna know that. Okay, so it's a pretty smart system. 626834. 626834. Okay. Sugar. How many numbers is your student number usually? 1, 2. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be fixed because it's not your student number that we want, it's your account number. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Once you fill this first part in, what you need to do is you need to click Next. And that will take you to the second part. Here you got what are called subjective questions. The first question and the questions here are subjective in the sense that there's no right or wrong answer. It's simply what you think. What you think. Do you think that you closed the position too early, too late, or right on time? It's up to you. Okay. Do you think that the outcome of the trade is better than you expected, worse than you expected, or just as I expected? Again, it's up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. On this trade, did you make your decision mainly based on your experience, your instinct, a trading strategy that you designed, a trading strategy that somebody else designed, a word of mouth or friend's advice? Was it a guess, or was it something else? If it is something else, please state what it is. And an option is you can sort of say, these are the lessons I learned. So what this enables you to do is to record not just the trade, but also a whole host of other variables that influence your trade. And at the end of the module, when you're devising a trading strategy, what you will have is a trading log that you can analyze.
I think the question number 13, is there any provision for multiple something like McKinsey and my trading
from now on, from this day onwards, any trade you make, you need to make sure that your trading journal is updated. Okay? So for any trade you make from today onwards, you have to make a trading journal entry. It's very simple. To get your trading journal, you go into Blackboard and you click on Trading Journal. That'll take you directly into it. Now, the trading simulator is part of your assignment. It's worth 50% of your module mark, and it is a feature and feeds directly into your trading, into your assignment 2. Now, there are some rules that you have to follow. Now, you will start trading this week. If you already haven't done so, you will start trading this week. Essential things to note is that you can only trade from the pre-approved list. Okay? What does that mean? On Blackboard, you're told these are the markets that you can trade in, and those are the only markets you can trade in. You cannot trade in any other markets than that are pre-approved, and this is specified on Blackboard. The second is you can only place limit orders. What is the difference between a limit order and a market order? The opposite of a limit order is a market order. Let's have a look. If you go into your trading platform, and let's say you want to go long, so you're buying, you have the option of making a market order, or you can place a limit order. A market order is you specify the amount you want, and it buys immediately at the price that prevails right now. Okay? There is no hanging around. And that's if the market is open. If the market is open, and this market is open, the moment I placed a limit trade, and I will show that to you. Let me just close this. The moment I place a limit trade, so I place a limit trade for 1 unit, and I'm not going to bother with the risk management, but you should, is a market order. Yeah, moment I do that, I submit, and look what happens. It comes up there. It's bought immediately. Okay, let me move on to another market. Let's go on to the France 40. Now here, I'm going to go long, but I'm not going to place a market order. I'm going to place a limit order. Now, with the limit order, I specify the number of units, but I also specify the price I want to buy it at. So I don't have to buy it at the current price. I buy it at the price I want. Maybe I want to buy it at a lower price than it currently exists. Okay? And then I submit, and this limit order does not go automatically into trades. Did you notice that? It goes into my orders. So that's my France 40. It tells me that this is the price that is currently there, 14134. I want to buy it at 4118, which means at a lower price than is currently being quoted. So the system will execute this trade moment price hits 4118. So it will buy at 4118 or cheaper. Okay? It will not execute until the price hits 4118. Okay? And that's what a limit order is. Now, thing with the limit order is you need to tell when it should expire. So that's an order you place, but an order has an expiration date. So how long are they going to wait till the price hits the price you want to buy at? Are you going to wait for 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? You need to specify that. Okay? So that's the difference between a market order and a limit order. Now, you're only allowed to place limit orders. So for the purpose of this exercise, before you go to market, you need to decide what is the price I want to go in at. Not just arbitrarily click away at buy and sell. Okay? Now, you can go either long or you can go short. That's up to you. Okay? If you want to go long, you can go long. If you want to go short, you can go short. Both of them are allowed. The fourth rule is you have to set your take profit and stop loss. If you want to put a trading stop loss, that's fine. But you got to place the take profit and stop loss at the time you place the order. That's when you place the order, You got to put your take profit and your stop loss. Once you put them in, you cannot alter them. They're fixed.
You can't scale up.
You cannot, no, I'm not allowing it. Okay. You cannot adjust your stop loss and your take profit. You can only close your position, that's it.
So you can apply trailing.
You can trail, no problem, but you cannot adjust parameters. No, you cannot modify a trade once you placed it.
Like if I open 100,000 units of your USD,
Yeah.
open like 4 USD and have different profit levels for like 25,000 each, and
Yeah.
have different profit levels for each unit.
Yeah.
So will it be classed as 4 different trades? So like if I can't.
Yeah, that will be classed as 4 different trades. Every time you open a new position, every time it goes on as a trade on your account, that is counted as a trade.
Also, there was another set rules on the website on the UW which said you can have 7 trades per week, and they have loads of other pairs.
Yeah. No, I don't have loads of other pairs. It's just those pairs that you can actually trade on. Okay. Now, you may place a maximum of 5 trades per week. So the total number of new trades that you can place is 5. Now keep in mind, when I say trade, I mean every time you open a new position. If you say bought 100 units of Wall Street 30, and that's 1 trade. But if you close it, that's not counted as a trade because you already opened it. Okay, you're just closing an open trade. So you may place a maximum of only 5 trades per week. When you're closing a trade, you can close them either manually or you can put a limit order for the close. You can tell the broker if it comes down to this price, close it. Or you can close it manually. So when you're closing something, you can close it manually. You don't have to put a limit order for closing. When you're opening it, you have to put it can only be through a limit order when you place it. Okay? You may close a trade either completely or partially. So you can manually close. If you take an 1,000 unit position, you can manually close 500 units. That's a partial. Yeah. Yeah, you can manually close part of it, but you cannot alter the take profit stop loss levels.
So I mean, we can close the whole trade before reaching the target.
Yeah. Yeah, you can manually close it. You can partially or completely, but you cannot alter the take profit or the stop loss levels. Okay. Each time you close a trade, you must update the trading journal, and you can do so through Blackboard. Okay. So those are your fundamental rules. Okay.
What if you have put the limit order and it didn't get executed?
Then that does, if you put a limit order but it does not get executed, that is not counted as a trade. Okay. A trade is not when you put the limit order, is when the limit order is executed. All right. Simply put, anything on this orders list is not a limit trade, is not counted as a trade. Every time it goes on to this one, that's when it gets counted as a trade.
What about those trades you've already done through market?
Well, like I said,
Just close it
no, like I said,
off the
any trade you place from now onwards is a trade you enter in the journal.
disregard.
Yeah. Got it?
Look at the number of pairs you could trade, and we will